It's been quite a ride this year. But let's give it a minute or two, and probably about 2 minutes, to just give everybody a chance to come on, and then we'll start meditating then. Okay, thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Good morning to those of you joining out there. Good morning. Good morning. We'll start at 10:02, so just give it about another minute, and we'll get going on. Thanks for joining this morning. Thank you. And for those of you joining right now, good morning. Good morning. We're going to give it just about another half minute here, and we'll get going as soon as it turns 10:02. Thank you for joining this morning. Thank you. Okay, alrighty. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, good morning. Happy to be here. This is the first morning meditation I've done since I've been back from my mom's over in South Haven. Mom has a healthcare worker that comes in a couple times a day to help her out. She's doing better. She's going through some therapy and stuff. So thank you for your love and your prayers for her. First of all, I appreciate that. And Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. I won't be doing a meditation tomorrow, so I wanted to wish you that now. I feel grateful. I feel grateful. There's just a lot of beautiful things unfolding. You got the Star of Bethlehem that's happening. That's really an astrological. I don't know if I want to say anomaly, but it hasn't happened for 600 years, right? And happened in the days of Jesus, and his stars, I think, were Jupiter and Mars, and now we have Jupiter and Saturn. I believe that's how it goes. So, any case, I know there's something special going on, and we've all worked hard for something special to go on, right? Even though we don't need to work hard to open up to that truth of who we are. So thank you for joining this morning. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's meditate. So if you haven't already, just getting yourself in a nice, comfortable position. A position where you can really stay alert, stay awake, stay conscious. Stay conscious during this process. Stay conscious and aware. And if you fall asleep, it's okay. My teacher used to say, then you probably need it. And also, if you fall asleep while you're meditating, it can be a very deep sleep. For those of you like me who are insomniacs and don't sleep well, meditation is a wonderful tool to just relax. And if you don't sleep, just meditate, and that can be quite beautiful, honestly. So just taking a nice deep breath in and just letting go of whatever stress or worries that you have going on. And I've had a lot of busyness in my mind lately. Had just an uncomfortable moment yesterday with my wife, and it's a friend of mine that likes to banter back and forth on Facebook that it sometimes stirs the pot for me. And I don't say that with judgment. I actually say that in a good way, because we need people in our lives to stir the pot. What is it to stir the pot? It means to help reflect back to you, help to raise that red flag within that tells you something is askew. Because if you're not at peace, if you're not rooted in your heart, if you're not rooted in conscious awareness, then there's simply some things that need to present themselves out of life, from God, the universe, to help you to raise those red flags to say, I've fallen prey to some kind of belief that has trapped me into an illusion of who I think I am. And so for me, I can honestly say that's going on for me right now. And I can also honestly say, I don't know about you, but I don't want to stay in judgment. I've been incredibly judgmental all my life. A lot less so over the last few years for sure, as I continue to open my heart and let go of false beliefs of who I think I am. But I know what it feels like to judge someone or to judge something, and I know what it feels like to love someone and to love something. So ultimately, I don't want to stay rooted in my mind and let my mind be the boss, the master, and me the slave. I want to transcend that, and I'm inviting you right now to join me. And if you're interested in freedom from the mind, freedom from fears and judgments, and to connect and align with the very God essence of who you are, then I'm grateful that you're joining me. And if you don't want that, but you still want to explore, I'm grateful for you joining with me as well. It's all perfect. So right now, I just really want you to contemplate, to consider, when somebody asks you, who are you? What is it that you say? What is it that you think who you are, or what you believe who you are? And these are the very things, these very stories I'm inviting you to let go of right now. I love the line out of the Bible where Jesus said that to enter the kingdom of God, which is at hand, by the way, the kingdom of God is at hand, meaning right here, right now. You don't have to travel anywhere or do something spectacular to earn it. No, it is you. It has always been you, and it will always be you. It's here. You can't get rid of you. You can only have ideas and stories that block yourself from realizing who you are. That's all. So Jesus once said, to enter the kingdom of God, you have to be like a child. Innocent, and not carrying forth all these, our ego. And what do I mean by ego? I don't just mean it from an arrogant point of view. I mean it from a point of view where our ego, our personality, has taken on all these stories and beliefs about who we think we are. I've taken on stories. I'm a nice guy. Sometimes I'm a bastard. I'm skinny. I have some health issues. That's another story, whether it's physically manifest or not. Manifestation follows the belief. So if you believe you're unhealthy, it will reflect in your body. If you believe you are unloving, the world will reflect that back to you. The world is always providing exactly what you need, as a beautiful mirror to raise all the red flags to say something is not right. I feel stress, there is suffering, and that is your cue that you are not rooted in the truth of who you are. Why do I say that? How do I know that? For those of you who have had those moments, maybe brief, maybe longer, where you've had an awakening to recognize that you are not your stories and beliefs about who you are. When you have that, your whole life changes. and you have an oh my God moment to say, I really had no idea of who I am. I thought I knew, and I read all these books that told me who I am, and I listened to all these teachers that said, I am God, I am perfect love and light. But it's not enough to just believe that. That's not enough. Do you feel that? Do you resonate with that as the core truth of who you are? And in that core truth, it is beyond any ideas or mental concepts of who you are. It is a pure beingness, a pure stillness, a pure isness. And that's where you experience the peace, the love, the joy. So if you are experiencing any stress or suffering at all, I invite you to look a little deeper. What is causing that? What is causing that? And just allow yourself to recognize that you are not the stress and suffering. You are not those beliefs. You are beyond anything mental or physical. As always, I don't want to add to your baggage of beliefs. I don't want to throw one more belief in your suitcase that you've been carrying around. And I'm not here to convince you or persuade you of anything at all. Nothing. I simply want to offer some possibilities to you. That is all. To just explore. Do you want to go on a little adventure? Little Joey, little David, little Sharon, little Michelle. You guys want to just go on an adventure and explore and maybe have some fun? And I don't know about you, but I do quite often take life far too seriously. And I say that from just being conscious and aware of my small self that believes that to be true at times. And it's okay. It's okay. What's also true is my mantra, seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all else shall be added unto you. I carry that in my heart at all times. But what also is true is there comes a point in time on your path where you recognize that there's no longer any seeking necessary, that you are the very thing that you have always been seeking. The mind, the ego says, I want to be happy. And the core truth of who you are says, I am happiness. The ego says, I just want to open my heart. And your core truth says, I am the heart. I am love. I just want to have joy out of life. And your true self says, I am joy itself. I am one with creation. I am the truth that I have been seeking. Again, I'm not asking you to believe any of this. I'm just inviting you to come out and play, that's all. Let's just go on an adventure of possibilities, of infinite possibilities. Maharishi Sadashiva Asham was my teacher for so many years and is still a very much important part of my life. And he once said that when you transcend the limited beliefs of the mind, that there's nothing that you can't accomplish. And if you want to touch the far side of the moon, you can touch the far side of the moon. If you want to see the end of the galaxy, you can see the end of the galaxy. And when I had my awakening, at least for a brief period of time, maybe 6-8 hours, I don't know, for the first time ever, I saw that, oh my God, all things truly are possible. All things. And I'm only limited by my beliefs, by my mind, by my ego. Are you ready to give up the ego and all the stories that you've believed as to who you are? Are you ready to empty your glass out that has perhaps been so full that there's not been any room for innocence, for freedom, for truth? Love and peace and joy can feel so evasive at times, but only those times where we're rooted in our ego, in our minds, in our heads. What if you were just to empty out all of that? Let go of all your beliefs. And maybe you say, no, I believe love is good. Why wouldn't I want to carry that belief? Let's just explore with that. If we have beliefs of what is good and bad, we are entering into the realm of the mental, the head, the ego. Because the mind is always judging, this is good and this is bad. And as long as you have judgment, you will never fully experience the freedom and truth of who you are, because you will always be trapped in the duality. Because if one thing is good, then what happens when you experience the opposite of that in the world? Then you're right back to experiencing bad. If you judge yourself as a good, loving person, then what happens when somebody comes around that your mind says they're not good and they're not loving? Then now you are in judgment again, and there is not peace in judgment. Oh, wait, you say. The mind says, wait a minute. I have to discern what is good and bad. Who has to discern what is good and bad? Your true self or your ego? What if God is providing everything we need and we're simply judging it because we're in our ego, in our heads? We're judging it as bad because we don't like what's being brought. But does God know what God's doing? Is God really not omniscient, omnipotent? The more I have let go of my need to fix or change anything in the world, and it doesn't mean that I can't, I don't have the ability to make changes. It simply means that I let go of my resistance to life. The more I do that, the more I sink into trust and faith that life and God are always giving me and everyone exactly what is needed to awaken us to the truth of who we are. But what happens? Our mind, our ego says, no, this is wrong. God is wrong. God should not be doing this, giving us this lesson. This is bad. This is wrong. That is when the red flag pops up. God is not doing it to pick on you or pick on the world or anyone. God is simply providing it as to help you to become aware that something is not in complete harmony the way it could be. That's all. God is not trying to challenge you. God is just bringing you something and you're feeling challenged because you don't like what has been presented. And the ego, the mind says, no, this isn't going to bring me happiness. But how many times have we struggled only to realize the beautiful gift on the other side? I find that over and over again. All these things that have been my adversities, my challenges, are the very things that have helped me to deepen the love within my heart. And what's true, you can't actually deepen the love within your heart. You can only clear out what is blocking a pure heart as it is. So the heart doesn't actually grow. We let go of beliefs that block us from the pure heart of who we already are. That's all. I want to tell you that you're perfect, and your perfect love, your perfect peace, your perfect joy, you're perfectly in alignment with God. But for me to tell you that is not enough. It's not enough for anyone to tell you, no matter if God tells you. Yes, it holds some weight. For sure, we all like to hear that, but it's not enough to just believe it. What is it that blocks you from fully realizing that truth? That is what I'm inviting you to let go of right now. Any limiting beliefs or stories that would have you believe that you're less than perfect and whole. I don't know about you, but I want it all. I want love and peace and joy and God. And I'm ready to release anything that I'm conscious and aware of that I know how to release, to let go of all of that. So I'm inviting you along with me right now to just completely empty out all stories, all beliefs, all the ego, all the personality, and certainly all of the past, all of the shame and guilt and blame that we've carried. Excuse me, I knocked my water bottle off. And I don't believe in accidents, so that shifted me. So I'm just going to start fresh and new right now in this moment. Whatever needed to happen, it shifted me out of that space. I'm not here to convince you of anything. I'm really not. I'm inviting you to so fully empty out that there's nothing left except for the one thing you cannot empty out, and that is you. And you can have all these stories that say you're not enough, or that you have to accomplish something spectacular in the world, or you have to do all these good deeds to earn your way back to the truth of who you are. No, 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 no. There is not one single thing you need to accomplish in order to be the truth that you already are. All that's necessary is to let go of all the stories that block you from realizing the truth of who you are right now in this moment. So I invite you to let go of the waiting for something else to happen to be the truth of who you are. We think we need to do some amazing feat or be some philanthropist or philosopher or save the world in order to earn our way into heaven. That is to say, to earn our way back to the truth of who we are. But it's not even returning to the truth of who we are. It's not returning to who you are. Who you are has always been there and will always be there, no matter what you have ever done and no matter what you will ever do. It is just like God. And I say that multidimensionally. It is just like God. You are just like God. You are one with God. And yes, maybe God is the ocean, but you are a drop of water out of that ocean, pure ocean. And you cannot get rid of the ocean. It's all around you. It is you. sometimes after having an experience, an awakening for a period of time, now I have many brief moments, but moments of conscious awareness of who I am. And when my mind gets busy, and it still does, it's so much easier to just take a step back when I'm willing to let go of my self-righteousness. And that's been a key for me, and I don't know how it is for you. But when I'm ready to let go of my ego and my self-righteousness and take a step back, I can simply observe my mind. Wow, I'm noticing my mind really wants to be right about this right now. And something else I notice about myself is that I have these certain things that I still look to for people, others for approval. That I want them to love me, I want them to like me, I want them to approve of me. So I will act out unconsciously. I will say things to try to make me look intelligent or wise. To try to build up, to try to fluff up who I am, but it's not who I am. I am not some story of what other people think about me. Oh, wow. Yes, Brett's just proven that he is very intelligent and he is very wise. I do these things, and I know I do these things, but I'm not conscious and aware when I do those, and then when I have the awareness, I just see the silliness of it. I tell people I'm a teacher, I'm a speaker. Oh, wow, look how grand Brett is. Oh my God. And I try to build up a false foundation. A false foundation of who I am. Wow, he's so knowledgeable. Look at all that knowledge. Isn't he something? I don't always laugh about this, so I'm grateful to laugh about this. And I hope you appreciate the levity of the moment, the craziness, the absolute insanity of us listening to our minds as if our mind knows what happiness is. But the mind does not know what happiness is. It only has an idea of what happiness is. The mind doesn't know what peace is because it only has a belief or a concept of what peace is. And that's why the Apostle Paul speaks about the peace that passeth all understanding. It can't be understood. It's not about knowledge. It's not about intelligence. Because the mind has intellectual intelligence. But if that's who you are, then what happens when this body dies? What happens when your physical mind dies? Does that mean you are no longer intelligent? Does that mean that all the memories you have stored in your physical mind that you can no longer remember? Do you cease to exist when your body dies? Your physical body and your physical mind? Who is it that goes beyond all these things? Who is it that never dies, that never fades away, that never diminishes, that you cannot ever get rid of? Who is that? Do you say, I know who I am? Do you say that? Because you are more than a belief and a concept. You are more than an idea. And if you store that in your mind, that belief, What happens when your body and your mind die? Sometimes the very thing that blocks us from realizing the truth of who we are is that we claim we know who we are. Because the true self doesn't have to claim it knows who it is. It just is. It's a pure beingness and is beyond any belief or concept of who you are. I say this again. Look to your teachers. Look to the ones that push your buttons. Look to the ones that are bringing up stress or struggle or strife. I'm not saying you have to hang out with them. I'm not even saying that you need to study them or anything like that. I'm saying that there will be times that it will divinely unfold that someone enters your life that is driving you nuts. We all have those people. Don't look for it. You don't need to manifest it. Just allow it to unfold perfectly. Because life and God are on your side. They're always providing what you need and when you need it. But the question is, are you going to get in your head and say, oh, look how bad and wrong they are. Oh, if they only knew what I knew. We all do that. We all do that. Trump has been one of my greatest teachers. And he only becomes a teacher to me. And I'm not taking political sides. This is not political. I'm simply saying somebody that the way they live their life pushes my buttons. But you know what? It's not him that needs to change. And when I take 100% responsibility for my life, 100%, then I have an opportunity to heal within. But as long as I make it something or someone else as the problem, now I'm a victim to them or that thing. Because now I'm subjected to waiting for them or that thing to change in order to be happy. Oh, when this changes, then I'll be happy. Why would I want to give my power away? Why would I want to play a victim to life? No, I don't want that. And that choice is available to you as well. This is good news that we're 100% responsible for our lives, because we have the option of taking responsibility for it and looking within to say, what is it that blocks me from loving this person exactly the way they are? Is Jesus judging them? Is Buddha judging them? Is God judging them? No. If their love is unconditional, and I can say that from the truth of who I am, from that unconditional place within myself, that there's nothing, not one single thing that needs to change about them in order for me or you to love them. It's only these old ideas and beliefs that we're carrying that block us from loving them. By the way, that is also blocking from loving ourselves, because they are a reflection of us. They are simply reflecting back something within ourselves that we are being asked to let go of. Yes, you are perfect. Yes, you are whole. And so are they. They are simply unconscious and unaware. I mentioned this in my meditation last night when Jesus was on the crucifix. And he said, "Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do." They're unconscious. They're unaware. They don't know what they're doing. That's all he's saying. And we too have gone through the same thing in many different times. We have simply been unconscious and unaware of what we were doing. And the mind might say, no. I knew exactly what I was doing. Who knew exactly what they were doing? The core truth of who you are that is rooted in peace, joy, and love? No, the one that you have believed to be who you are, the idea and story of who you are. So I invite you one last time to just let go of all the stories and beliefs of who you think you are, all the ideas, the concepts, and who you are supposed to be. Letting go of that as well. That's all stories as well. Letting go of all the past shame and guilt and blame. Because again, we can only do what we're consciously aware of at the level of conscious awareness that we're at. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Can you just let yourself off the hook right now, as Jesus has, as Buddha, as Krishna, as God? They don't even need to let you off the hook because they didn't judge you in the first place to say there was even anything wrong with what you did. They recognize it, that it was just you going through the struggles of life to help remember and awaken to the truth of who you are, that you have always been and will always be. So right now, I just invite you to become conscious and aware of your breath. This beautiful, perfect breath that supports you over and over and over again, without any help. And that's why the breath is perfect to use for mindfulness meditation. Perfect. Because all we need to do is simply witness the breath. We don't need to stand in judgment of it. We don't need to make it bad or wrong. And we don't need to try to push it away or fight it in any way. All we're doing is simply being a witness to it. We're observing it. We're perceiving it. We're being aware of it. And you, the capital U, the true you, is the one witnessing it. And the true you is also witnessing the thoughts, witnessing the beliefs, witnessing the feelings, without needing to fix or change any of them. Incense is getting in my lungs and was causing me to cough there. So, we spend so much time trying to change our minds, to correct our thinking, to fix our minds, and maybe trying to correct or fix other people that don't meet with the idea of who we think they should be. These are all stories, and you don't need to carry any of them. So when you're observing the breath, most likely thoughts will come up, and there's nothing wrong with that. The mind is not bad or wrong, by the way, nor is the ego. It's just there. It just is. It's all here to teach us who we are not. So when a thought presents itself, you don't need to spend all this time, wonder why I'm thinking this way. Well, let me try to correct that attitude. That's not a good attitude. The reason you don't need to spend time dealing with that is because when you recognize that you are not your thoughts, you are not your intellectual thinking of the mind, there's nothing to correct. There's nothing to fix. There's nothing to change. Having the awareness that you are not the thought is enough. How do we know you're not your thoughts? Because the thoughts come and go. Thoughts change. If you are one with God, if you are the absolute, you must look beyond that which changes and step into the realm of the unchanging, the ever-present peace, love, and joy of who you are. And again, I don't say that to try to persuade you or convince you. No, I don't want to add to a belief. It's not about believing you are those things. It's about letting go of all the beliefs that block you from realizing that truth right now in this moment. So again, I invite you to just come back to being aware of your breath as we begin to experience a deeper stillness. Don't look for stillness. Don't try to be still. Trying to be still is all of the head and not of the heart. If your mind is busy, stillness arises by just acknowledging the busyness. Oh, okay, I see my mind is very busy. Oh, okay, I see my mind really is judging that person. Oh, I see my ego really doesn't like that person at all. Oh, I see my ego wants life to be different than what it is. You are the one noticing these thoughts, these beliefs, these feelings. That is you. And that is enough. You are enough. And so the more you can practice witnessing the thoughts, the beliefs, the feelings, the more you begin to realize that you are not those things. And you can let those things go easier and easier. And you become more conscious and aware and begin to connect and realize more and more the truth of who you are. And so let's just begin to follow the breath, and when a thought comes in, just allow it to gently and effortlessly pass on by, because it's not who you are, and you don't need to spend any time dealing with it, none whatsoever. So when the thought comes in, allow it to gently and effortlessly pass on by. And it doesn't matter whether you have a million thoughts, just notice and just come back to being aware of your breath, which brings you back to the present moment and back home to who you are, the one who is witnessing it all. And if your mind is drifted, just allow the thoughts to gently and effortlessly pass on by, and just simply come back to being aware of your breath. And again, just returning home to the awareness, conscious awareness of who you are, the one who is simply observing the breath. And again, if your mind has drifted, just come back to being aware of your breath. Just coming back to being aware of your breath. we're going to begin to bring this meditation to completion. For those of you who'd like to continue meditating, please mute or turn the device off. And thank you so much for joining. Merry Christmas, my friends. Merry Christmas, or whatever tradition or faith that you follow. I wish you happy holidays. And for those of you ready to finish, just taking a nice deep breath in. And just really filling this physical body up that supports you in this lifetime and helps you to get around, staying grounded and rooted in it. And just wiggling fingers, toes, stretching. And taking your time, and whenever you're ready, opening your eyes. Well, thank you for joining me. That was a really good meditation for me personally, if there is such a thing as good meditation. It was very restful and recharging, let me put it that way. So let me just pop in on both Facebook and YouTube and see what we got. We'll go on Facebook here. And if any of you feel like you want to comment, or let's see, Michelle, yeah, may I always have laughter in my day, right? I know, you're a good teacher for that. I thank you for that one. Thanks, Michelle. Merry Christmas, my friend. Merry Christmas. Nancy, Merry Christmas, Brett, to you and your family. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you too, Nancy. And my sister, I don't know if she stayed with it all, but Deb, Merry Christmas. I'll call you guys tomorrow. I love you. And let's see, I think I might have had some other Sharon. Hi Sharon, Merry Christmas, my friend. Thanks for joining. And Cheryl, my comment refers to COVID restrictions on gatherings, work, or holiday obligations, a busy time of year, trying to observe and enjoy those things that surround me with joy, beauty, and peace. Yes. Well, I do hope you have peaceful vacation or holidays there, Cheryl. Thank you so much for joining again. Merry Christmas to all of you, my friends, and thanks for joining. And we'll be back on Saturday morning, day after Christmas. And let me just pop into pop on YouTube real quick and see what we got going there. And let's see. And let's see. Sandy. Hi, Sandy. Merry Christmas, my friend. Thank you for reminding me that God is the ocean and I am a wave. Yes, laughter is the best medicine and joy. Right. Different meditation for me than normal. You know me. I'm a pretty serious dude, so I'm truly grateful to have some laughter in there and of a very sometimes serious life. Got to be serious. So thank you, all of you. I love you guys. Merry Christmas and enjoy your holidays. And maybe I'll see you on Saturday or sometime soon. Okay, namaste.